The dopamine trap. How your phone hijacks your minds. In 2024, the average person checks their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. Now stop for a second and think about how often you reach for yours. Not because you need it, but because it calls you, it pulls you. What if I told you your phone isn't just a tool, it's a trap? Not a digital one, but a biological one. A system built, tested, and optimized to hijack the very chemistry of your brain. And the worst part, you don't even realize it's happening. By the end of this video, you'll understand how your phone reprograms your focus, fractures your attention, and feeds you dopamine in doses so precise, even the best casinos in Las Vegas would be jealous, and you'll learn exactly how to fight back. So if you've ever caught yourself endlessly scrolling, switching between apps with no reason, or reaching for your phone the moment you feel bored, anxious, or alone, stay right here. This might change your life. Like this video if you've ever felt that trap. And subscribe, we go deep here. Part 1. The invisible addiction. It starts with something small. You wake up, your phone is already in your hand. Before you've even had a glass of water, your eyes are taking in updates, likes, messages, and your brain, it's lighting up like a slot machine. That's no coincidence. Apps are not passive tools. They are behavioral engines, designed not to inform, but to transform, not to serve you, but to shape you. They operate on dopamine loops, the same circuits activated by gambling, drugs, sugar, and risk. Every notification you get, a trigger; every scroll, an action; every like, a reward. And when that reward doesn't come, your brain craves it harder. It's not about content anymore. It's about neurochemistry. Maybe you've felt this. You're just checking one thing, a message, a DM, but suddenly it's been 45 minutes and you don't even remember what you came for. You're switching between 4 to 5 apps. You're refreshing without even thinking. And in the background, something deeper is happening. Your brain is learning. As uncomfortable as checking your phone, boredom equals scrolling, anxiety, distract, loneliness equals validation, until it becomes automatic, until the phone becomes a reflex, not a tool, but a digital pacifier. And here's the scary part, you didn't choose it. It was designed this way. Part 2. The science of dopamine. Let's break it down. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. It's often called the pleasure chemical. But that's not exactly true. It's not what makes you feel pleasure. It's what makes you want pleasure. Dopamine drives behavior, anticipation, desire, craving. It's the reason you keep checking, refreshing, watching. In the natural world, dopamine helped us survive. It told us that fruit, eat it; that path, explore it; that sound, pay attention. But in today's digital world, it's being hijacked. Instead of leading you to real growth, it traps you in artificial cycles. Endless scroll, endless stimulation, zero satisfaction. You weren't built for this. Your brain wasn't meant to process hundreds of videos, faces, notifications, headlines, all in a span of 10 minutes. No wonder you feel tired. No wonder your focus is slipping. No wonder real life feels flat. Your mind is feeling overwhelmed. Dopamine levels are out of whack. Take a moment. What's the app you open first every day? And how do you feel after 20 minutes inside it? Leave it in the comments. Let's talk about it. No judgment, just awareness. Because awareness is the first step to freedom. Part 3. Addictive design. Let's talk about design. Most people think apps are just convenient, but in truth, they're built like casinos. Colors, animations, sounds. Every pixel has a purpose, and that purpose is your attention. Have you ever noticed the way you pull to refresh your feed? That motion is the digital equivalent of a slot machine. You don't know what you're going to get, but sometimes it's exciting. A like, a comment, a viral video, and that Randomness, that's the dopamine jackpot. It keeps you hooked. It's not about content, it's about uncertainty, because your brain loves the possibility of reward more than the reward itself. That's Dopamine 101. Part 4. The architecture of manipulation. Every single app on your phone is in a war for your attention, and the one with the best dopamine engineering wins. Let's look at the battlefield. Red notification bubbers, urgency plus survival response, infinite scroll, no stopping point, no closure, short form content, TikTok, Reels, Shorts, hypercondensed stimuli, algorithms tailored to trigger your individual reward system. Your feed is not random. It's a mirror, a behavioral mirror built by code and psychology. They don't just know what you like. They know when you're most likely to tap, scroll, share, or rage comment. That's not accidental. That's design. Part 5. Effects on body and mind. So what happens when your brain is exposed to this every day, every hour, every minute? 3 things. Desensitization. Your dopamine receptors get overwhelmed. The same content no longer excites you. You need more to feel the same. Anxiety spikes. Notifications trigger stress responses. The constant possibility of being interrupted makes it hard to relax. Cognitive fragmentation. You lose the ability to focus deeply. Your thoughts get interrupted mid. You forget what you were saying or why you even opened the app. You don't feel it right away, but over time, you're exhausted mentally, emotionally, even if you've done nothing all day. That's the cost of constant stimulation. Part 6. The new epidemic. Boredom and the inability to wait. Part 6. The new epidemic. Boredom and the inability to wait. Here's a scary truth. Your brain no longer knows how to be bored. And that's a problem, because boredom is the gateway to creativity. It's the space where thoughts breathe, where insight forms, where your brain resets. But when every moment of stillness is filled with swipes and taps, you lose that space. You become uncomfortable with silence, with waiting, with being alone with your thoughts. We've raised an entire generation that finds reality boring, and it's not their fault. It's the architecture of the apps they grew up with. Think about the last time you stood in line or waited at a red light. Did you reach for your phone? Of course you did. We all do, but that's the loop. Trigger gives action, gives reward, gives craving, and the only way to break it is to pause, to become aware of the trigger, because once you name it, you can tame it. Comment below. What is the one moment in your day you always check your phone, even when you don't need to? Let's be honest about it. That's how change starts. Part 7. Real life seems dull. Have you noticed how real life feels? Slow, a meal with friends, a walk in the park, a quiet afternoon with nothing planned. They don't hit the same anymore. Why? Because your brain has been trained to expect constant stimulation. Quick hits, fast feedback, bright lights, instant novelty. So when reality doesn't deliver a dopamine spike, your mind starts itching for more. Let me just check real quick. I'll scroll for a second. Maybe someone posted something new. But this isn't curiosity, it's withdrawal. And the longer you stay in that loop, the harder it gets to enjoy the simple things that used to fulfill you. Your brain has been hijacked. Part 8. Comparison, validation, and anxiety. But it gets deeper. Social media doesn't just steal your attention, it reshapes your identity. Every like becomes a form of validation. Every comment becomes a judgment. Every follower becomes a measure of worth. You're not just posting, you're performing. And when the likes don't come, you question yourself. You compare, you feel less. Even if you know it's not real. Even if you tell yourself it doesn't matter. The truth is, your brain reacts anyway. Comparison triggers the same brain regions as physical pain. And most of the time, you're comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. It's not fair, it's not healthy, and it's not your fault. You were wired this way, but you don't have to stay this way. Part 9. Real cases and the breaking point. There are people out there who've hit rock bottom, students who can't read a full page without checking their phone, parents who scroll through dinner while their kids eat in silence, couples who lie in bed back to back each lost in their own screen. Some report feeling disconnected from reality, like nothing is ever enough, like their mind is constantly buzzing, yet deeply empty. That's not weakness. That's overstimulation. That's dopamine overload. And for some, it leads to burnout, anxiety, even depression. But here's the thing, the breaking point can also be the turning point. Part 10. The turning point begins with awareness. The good news is, your brain is plastic. It can change. You can rewire it with intention, repetition, and small wins. But it starts with awareness. Awareness of how often you reach for your phone. Awareness of why you're reaching. Awareness of how it makes you feel afterward. Not shame, not guilt, just honest observation. Because when you observe without judgment, you create space. And in that space, you can choose. You can begin to reclaim control. One scroll at a time, one notification at a time, one quiet breath at a time. So here's your challenge. For the next hour, turn off your phone, put it in another room, set a timer, and just exist. Notice what comes up. The boredom, the restlessness, the reflex to read. That's the dopamine trap losing its grip. It might feel uncomfortable. That's okay. You're retraining your nervous system, and that discomfort, it's the doorway to your freedom. Part 11. How to regain focus and mental clarity. How to regain focus and mental clarity. Now that you understand the trap, how do you break free? How do you rebuild focus in a world designed to destroy it? Here's the truth. You don't need to delete all your apps. You don't need to throw your phone in the ocean. You don't need to go live in a cabin in the woods. What you need is intention. Start small. No phone 1 hour after waking up. One walk a day without music, podcasts, or scrolling. Phone out of reach while you sleep. These are not punishments. They're reset rituals. Each one is a signal to your brain. You are in control again. Part 12. Tools and tactics that work. Here are 5 tools that actually work. Grayscale mode removes color-based triggers, makes your screen less addictive. App limits, built-in screen time settings that cut off access after a set period. Home screen cleanup, remove apps from your first screen. Out of sight equals out of habit. Notification auto turn off 90% of your notifications. Keep only what serves you. The dopamine anchor, choose one healthy behavior and pair it with a trigger that used to make you scroll. The goal isn't to eliminate dopamine. The goal is to direct it intentionally, strategically. Like fire, dopamine can cook your food or burn your house down. Part 13. The dopamine myth. You've probably heard of the dopamine detox, but let's clear something up. You can't remove dopamine. It's part of being alive. What most people call dopamine detox is really a pattern interrupt. It's a way to break the loop, to step back, to remind your brain what baseline feels like. The real power isn't in quitting cold turkey. It's in rebuilding your relationship with stimulation. Replacing passive consumption with active creation, replacing numbness with presence. So instead of banning everything, ask, what am I avoiding with the scroll? What discomfort am I not willing to feel? That's where your healing begins. Part 14. The new reward. Clarity, energy, and direction. And here's what happens when you take your attention back. You feel more present with people, You start to hear your own thoughts again. You feel less anxious and more clear. The noise fades, your focus sharpens, your vision expands. You start creating instead of consuming. You start responding instead of reacting. You stop chasing dopamine and let it come from meaning, not mindless loops. And that's real power. So, what if your phone didn't control you anymore? What if boredom didn't scare you and silence became your superpower? What if your mind was finally yours again? This isn't about quitting tech. It's about reclaiming your attention, your energy, your life. Every time you ignore a notification, you're saying yes to your future self. Every moment you choose stillness over stimulation, you're building a mind that's resilient, focused, and truly free. Like this video if something resonated with you. Subscribe to JustHabits. We go deep every week. And comment below. What's one thing you're going to change after this video? Because this is your wake-up call. You've been hijacked long enough. This is JustHabits. One habit can change everything.